Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public hearing, adoption of the general assistance ordinance.
Just open the public hearing, see if anybody has questions. If not, close the public hearing.
Anybody have any questions, comments on the general assistance ordinance and appendices A through G for the period of October 1st, 2022 to September 30th, 2023? Anybody?
I move acceptance of the general assistance ordinances and appendices A through G for the period of October 1st through September 30th, 2023.
Second?
All in favor? Consent agenda, can I have approval of the minutes?
I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Any select, the next upcoming select board meeting is Thursday, October 20th, 5:30. We'll be back at the town hall. Any select board comments, announcements? No?
Nothing? I'm good.
Business item number 1, investment committee recommendation, long-term capital improvement fund.
That would be me. So I'm Paul Coombs. I'm the chair of the committee. The members are both here, Steve and Bob. We just had a maturity come due for part of the investment funds in September, and we wanted to make a recommendation to reinvest those funds. Fortunately, the interest rate is much better than the last time we reinvested the funds. So the treasurer has the details, if you approve. We wanted to invest in U.S. Treasuries. One of the splitting basically $250,000 into two pieces. We wanted to invest one of those pieces in a 2 7/8 due September 30th next year. That's 1 year. The effective interest rate on that is about 4.15%. And we also wanted to invest in another piece of $125,000 that would mature on 9/30, 2024. So that's 2 years. And the coupon on that is 4 1/4 to yield about 4.15 as well to maturity. So I think we need your approval for that.
You have two different items that you're recommending?
Yeah. The 1 year and the 2 years.
Okay.
Both the same.
I move that we accept their recommendation for the bond due on September 23rd for 4.15%, and then again for September 24th at 4.25%.
And then we authorize the treasurer to make those transactions?
That's what we need.
Seconded. All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you for the work that you do.
Item number 2, Casella Waste Contract Addendum. The addendum to the current contract with Pine Tree Waste Inc., Casella Waste System subsidiary will be for the period of October 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2023.
This was approved by the select board at the previous select board meeting. It will give the town and Casella additional time to negotiate terms of the new contract.
But the repairs are being done while it's going on, correct?
Repairs.
Yeah, we have them scheduled for. Well, I think it's about $25,000 in repairs to the building and hopefully getting it done by the end of this year.
Okay, as long as that's underway, then. Okay.
So we'll need a motion on that.
I move that we approve the second, that we approve the official confirmation
Second?
All in favor?
How's the sticker working out now?
Really good. It's been a big improvement, yeah. A lot of good feedback from the town as well.
Yeah, it is. I think people like it.
You signed this.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That's good to
right.
see.
Yeah.
I think it addresses it, all of the issues.
Yeah, we're also looking at, doing some road repair as well, that is speaking with them about, we're more than, our trucks have kind of worn that road down and kind of how they're doing it, so we're willing to, do those repairs as well to the office area.
And how's the noise?
There's been complaints from the community, but I haven't heard a thing. So,
Yeah. Mark Haley, for the record, West Bath resident and manager. Chris calls me every morning if there's a issue. We check the cameras every morning. None of my trucks are leaving, before the allotted time that's set in the contract. So we are abiding by those rules and will continue for the future. So we're trying to eliminate that. There are some other commercial vehicles that are not anything to do with us that I have caught on the cameras before. They're not any of our sub-haulers or Casella vehicles.
Well, the threat of the fine probably straightens that out.
So yeah, it's pretty, we spent a lot on a really good camera system in there that I can just, on my phone, look at and, live for all angles of the whole facility, so, we can't be there 24/7, but cameras let us be there 24/7.
I go to work every morning at 3:45, I have not passed one of your trucks or any other trucks, so, and before I was passing 2, 3, sometimes 4 trucks, just.
One of your cameras in the salt shed.
Say again, I didn't hear what you said.
And one of your cameras in the salt shed.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you,
Yeah.
But it has to work for everybody, and it's important that, we all stick to our commitments. So, thank you.
I will add one piece if I could on the transfer station this Saturday and Tuesday. We also want to, I'm looking into ways to maybe improve the resident experience, right? And we've done that with a sticker, right? There's other transfer stations around that I have relationships with that offer paint disposal service or
Cleanup day or something.
yeah, right. So when you buy a gallon of paint at your hardware store, you're actually paying for that disposal and the price of that paint, right? And there's a company, Clean Harbors, they take it away for free. So that's an added benefit as, as a resident myself, I get rid of my old paint there, because we don't normally do that at the transfer station. Also, fluorescent bulbs, right, for residents. If you have any fluorescent bulbs in your basement over your workshop, there's a program, the same thing. When you buy a fluorescent bulb, you're actually paying for that disposal up front. So we can literally FedEx ship the bulbs away to this company called Veolia. Just another added value for the residents, I think, and if the board's willing, just to make some small improvements like that, but I think the residents would appreciate, because I get questions all the time. Hey, the resident of West Bath, my neighbors ask me, how do I get rid of paint, or how do I get rid of some chemicals, when's our household hazardous waste day? So I'd really like to engage on that piece.
It'd be good to have that, set that, establish that for the community. I think anything that we can do in addition to what we're doing would be welcome.
The regional ones have been very effective, but having one close to home would be very nice.
Exactly.
Perhaps more frequently than twice a year.
Sure,
And
sure.
coffee and donuts, maybe?
Absolutely. I'll put that too.
Lattes.
Yeah, okay.
Lots of dinner.
We'll get it in there some way.
We'll promote both industries. Article number 3, warrant approval. The warrant notifies West Bath voters of the November 8, 2022 state and local election. The election will be held at the West Bath Fire Hall from 7 a.m. through 8 p.m.
I move approval of the warrant as presented.
Second?
All in favor?
This one we do have to sign.
Yes.
And, yeah, send that down this way.
Cool.
Number 4, human resource policy manual draft revision for approval.
I made some brief changes to the human resource manual based on feedback that I got from the town office staff when they reviewed it. Madeline, did you see the dress code part?
I did,
Is that better?
yes.
Okay.
It's very gender neutral.
Yes, okay, good. You have copies, the changes that I made from the previous draft are all in red on the copies in your packet. So there were changes to the dress code, a small change to driving in a town or personal vehicle. And the other changes had to do with how we manage payroll. I got feedback from Julie on that to make sure that it didn't conflict with what we're currently doing.
I move approval of the Human Resource Policy Manual as presented.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Business item number 5, policy on town committee procedures, draft amendment for approval.
There have been no changes since the previous draft that you were presented. The purpose of these procedures is to make sure that all of our committees function appropriately and in a cohesive way, and for staff and committee members and select board members to understand their roles.
I move approval of the policy on town committee procedures as presented.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Business item 6, Sabino Association 100th Anniversary Proclamation. This is an official document from the town of West Bath recognizing and proclaiming that October 12, 2022 is the 100th anniversary of Sabino Hall. It will be presented to the Sabino Improvement Association on Saturday, September 8th.
That's over.
October 8th.
October. Okay, oh, it says September on here though.
Oops.
But
It's
we mean-
October 8th.
What
You
month am I
really mean,
in?
you really mean October?
Yes.
Good. I move approval of the official proclamation congratulating Sabino Improvement Association.
I will second that, because I live there.
All in favor?
And there are 3 copies here, if you can sign all 3 of them, please.
Sorry.
And Suzanne, you can take 2 of them with you.
They have no idea it's coming. We got a surprise. They're cooking pizza for the community, and there are over 60 people coming for pizza.
What time is pizza?
I'm not dealing with mine. You're welcome to come, 4 o'clock.
We're gonna have supper. Not a lobster dinner?
There may be
Take what
lobster
we
on,
can get.
there could be lobster on a pizza.
Right,
There you go.
it's getting better.
That's one I haven't had. We'll have to try that. Lobster pizza.
I know shrimp is coming, I saw people, everyone has to bring 2 toppings.
Just put a white sauce in there.
Right? Just saying.
Yeah.
May I keep the green folder? So that I don't get
Yes,
ripped
that's
off?
why I brought it, because I thought it might be helpful.
Yes.
How much does that cost?
Is that in budget?
It's recycled.
Okay.
You can see on the back that we recycled.
Okay, all right.
It actually says Madeline Hennessy. Well, then I have to approve.
Business item number 7, town administrators report.
Okay, I have one item tonight. We received a grant in the amount of $5,000 from the Department of Marine Resources to conduct a boundary survey at Spinal Landing. The total cost of the project will be $6,700. We're still waiting to hear back from the Island Institute to see if they will contribute the additional $1,700. If not, I would hope that we could take it out of contingency. The survey should be done by the end of the year.
So hopefully that will help rectify any questions.
Yeah, it's really what we need to have in place before we move forward with any other possible,
Solutions.
yeah.
Do we need a motion to approve the acceptance?
Can we do two? Can we approve the $5,000 and that we will contribute $1,700 if
Yes,
it is not provided from the Island Institute?
yes, that would be a good way of handling that.
Do you have that motion, Carly?
That wasn't a motion, that was a
I-
question.
I
Someone
move
make a
that we
motion?
approve the $5,000 grant and hope to get the $1,700. Shall we not get the $1,700, we will take the $1,700 out of contingency.
I'll second.
All in favor? Future agenda items.
We had a request from a property owner down at Sabino that we discuss the landing again at your next meeting. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah.
Next meeting is October 20th.
Sure, works for me.
They primarily want to discuss interim solutions, like putting up signs and what the signs might say, and if you'll approve those kinds of steps, regardless of whether or not we have an ordinance that we can enforce.
Okay.
Can you check with Sally to see if there's any legal stuff that we need to do in order to put up signs for an ordinance that's not enforceable?
Yeah, I'll check with her.
And have we actually rescinded that?
No, and I'm really hoping, I'll put out a request right now that, to ask you to repeal that ordinance. It doesn't make any sense at this point to sell parking stickers based on an ordinance that we cannot enforce. It's unreasonable to expect people to do that.
I think we should hold off on that discussion until the next meeting.
That's fine, but
So that we
please
have-
consider it.
Let's put that on the agenda.
Okay.
So that can be fully discussed what's happening down there.
Yeah.
Because it's an ordinance approved by the town, does it need a town vote to be repealed?
No, because it's traffic ordinance,
Oh, okay.
so that's a little
Well,
bit
some of
different.
it is,
The
some of it's
select board
not.
has jurisdiction over traffic ordinances.
Well, that's for parking, but the other
Same,
is
same idea.
even the times that the access and all that, that's not parking.
The ordinance
Well,
is
anything that our
Oh,
current
it's not.
ordinance says, parking could include hours.
I think we need to have Sally clarify what we can and can't do before we make any decisions. I don't want to take something away that we're not authorized to take
Well,
away.
regardless of what Sally says, you can still repeal an ordinance that we cannot enforce. That's
It's
doable.
uncomfortable at the town hall,
Yeah. it's-
charging people for stickers, knowing that they will not be enforced. I mean, obviously this time of year, no one's really knocking down our door to get a
Yeah, but
sticker,
we'd like
but-
to be prepared for next
But
year.
again, I agree with you guys, but how can we even give stickers, but we don't even know how many parking
Right.
spaces are there? So this makes no sense to me. I don't know how this ordinance was created.
And that's, we need, clarification from Sally as to even how is parking authorized down there? If it's not on
Well, that's
town.
not something that Sally can answer.
But if people are parking on somebody else's land,
Well, that's not even a Sally question. They cannot park there.
Right, but how can we have an ordinance that we don't even know how many parking spaces are there?
Exactly. We need to focus on what we have on the books and whether or not we can enforce it.
And if we need to have a special town meeting to make it all clear, then we should do that.
I think we should wait for the survey, because that's gonna feed into what the town owns and doesn't own. I mean, there's a domino effect of information, is probably,
That's fine, and we can discuss it further, but regardless of whether or not we have a boundary survey, The ordinance is still going to be unenforceable in
And we
its current
don't
state.
even have any rules around who gets those parking.
Right.
This,
I mean, if 100 people came to the town office and requested a sticker, then Carly or Julie would have to sell it to them. That is not,
That puts them in an untenable position.
it does, it's not a good position to be
But
in.
we can't be selling a sticker to land that they can't park on anyway. So, I mean, you can't park there. So I mean, it just, I don't understand.
Private land.
To be continued.
Yeah, let's put that on the agenda and
But I think we need to figure
plan
out
to
what.
bring sleeping bags so we can stay overnight.
So- has anybody asked for a parking ticket in the last 6 months?
Yes,
Stickers? Yeah.
Yeah, in the past 3 months, I would say.
So is this something that we can
I mean,
say no parking stickers until further notice?
yes, you can do that.
Until we figure out what protocol
To
is.
get them out of.
Yeah, I mean, like Carly said, it's not really an issue right now,
Yeah.
but yes, you could do something like that.
I think that's a better solution than making it definitive until we know what we can and can't do.
Right.
I think
There will
that's,
be no parking stickers granted until this is resolved.
Is
Let's
that a
put it
motion?
on the agenda for next time.
Okay.
But
Well,
in the
have fun with
meantime,
that,
it's on the
because I
next
will
one.
not be at that meeting.
Oh, You have a prior engagement?
I
or
do
you just
have a
make-
prior
or you
engagement.
just make one up?
It's one of the unusual times that I will not be in town.
Got a sore throat, do you?
I feel it coming on myself.
Is there any way to schedule this next meeting for another night that you can be available?
That's fine with me if you choose to do that.
Is it just that night or is it that week?
It's a long weekend that I'll be away.
Starting Thursday?
Maybe reunion.
So, do you want, I mean, so we can move it up a day to Wednesday. So I was trying to figure out if that's,
Wednesday's planning board.
It doesn't need to be though.
or Tuesday, since it's not planning board.
Would you do Tuesday with me?
No, I can't do Tuesday.
But you can
That
do
week
Wednesday?
I can do Wednesday.
So does that mean postponing the planning board?
Yes.
I thought
Okay.
did planning board get scheduled for that? I thought there was a conflict for everybody that night.
It is scheduled for that night, it's on my calendar.
Is there anything pending?
As far, I don't know yet if there's any applicants, but
The planning board meeting is not for applicants, at least not at this point. It's for administrative items.
Okay, so we can say that,
How about Monday?
Monday's your committee.
Yeah, I can't do Monday.
I just think there's nothing pending for the planning board.
Well, yet, applications haven't been shut off yet. You have 10 days before, like, for new applicants.
But if they come in and we can say there's no meeting on that night.
Choose a different week.
That's gonna be
It's already
tough
past the
too.
10-day deadline. There's one that's pending, but I think they would be fine if the meeting got moved, because they're not confirmed.
If everybody's available on that Wednesday, I would like to postpone the planning board meeting and schedule it for that night.
I would be.
I'm fine with Wednesday night. So the 19th,
So next selectmen's meeting, October 19th.
go back to that. By town hall.
Town hall.
Thank you.
Okay.
I would like to be there actually for this discussion.
I think it's gonna,
I think we need.
I think it's important. So I'd rather not do Sabino if you're not there. So if we don't do the 19th, I would say we postpone it, and I don't really think we should be doing that either.
So can the planning board come a half hour early that day? What, if they're not having a meeting?
No, the
what is-
planning board would take a few hours at least.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't really sneak a meeting in with the planning board before selectmen start, 5:30.
Because we weren't having applicants, I didn't know how detailed that was gonna be.
Selectmen board, so plan on 3 hours.
So I see we have an executive session, but any public comment first? No, David. No, David.
Just one comment. We got half an hour. Anything on our Boston Cane project?
The bus was okay.
as far as avoiding that?
That could happen at any time. I would like to hear feedback from the board when you'd like to present it, when you think would be a good time.
I think as soon as possible.
Right, we should do that.
November, after the election? Or are you wanting to do it before?
Could we do it at election time? And have some kind of,
I would suggest that you, somebody contact some of the family members and see what works for them as well, so they can be there for this ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that and figure out how that looks for the family members?
Okay.
Do you want me to do
We don't want to wait for the town meeting.
Sure.
We were at Westcott School together.
Oh,
With the recipient?
and she's getting it and Madeline's not.
No, one of the daughters.
I was gonna
Both
say,
of their daughters used to be
you're
on the
very
bus.
well preserved.
Oh, thank you, it's my vitamins.
What are you taking?
I think no.
Any other public comment? So we are going to go into executive session pursuant to 1 MRS Chapter 13, 405, 6A to discuss a personnel matter. Thank you all for coming.
Feel free to put the chairs away before you know.
Was that a motion to enter?
Second. All in favor? All in favor?
Can you,
The middle button?
the
The red
It's
button?
gotten so high, you can the door.
square button,
Oh. The middle button, I see
is
that.
that the middle?
It is in the middle. I was looking at it to see.
Thanks for staying, guys.